In 2006, the scientific community voted, and Pluto, the planet discovered in 1930, the one generations of children memorized, was stripped of its title, demoted, from planet to dwarf planet, just like that. But here's what that vote couldn't change. Pluto is still out there, 5.9 billion kilometers from the sun, in the dark, in the cold, alone. And right now, I'm sending Earth there, not as a punishment, but as a question. What does Earth become at the edge of everything? Before we continue, your question for today: if Earth replaced Pluto, which side would you rather live on? Drop your answer in the comments and watch the full video to discover it. New here? Subscribe. This is where we take Earth to places it was never meant to go. Pluto sits at an average of 5.9 billion kilometers from the sun. But Pluto's orbit is unusual, highly elliptical. At its closest, 4.4 billion kilometers. At its furthest, 7.4 billion kilometers. The sun from Pluto's orbit is just a point of light. No disk, no warmth, no day, just a star, slightly brighter than the others. Earth at Pluto's position receives 0.0006% of its current solar energy, a number so small it is functionally indistinguishable from zero. Surface temperatures settle at minus 230 degrees Celsius, only 43 degrees above absolute zero, where all molecular motion stops completely. This isn't cold as we experience it. This is cold as a fundamental physical state. The atmosphere freezes instantly. Nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, all solid. The oceans freeze, not just at the surface, but completely. To the bottom of the Mariana Trench, every drop of liquid water on Earth, solid. Every breath of air, crystallized on the ground. Earth at Pluto's orbit is not a planet anymore. It's a rock, a cold, dark, silent rock, drifting at the edge of the solar system. Pluto takes 248 Earth years to complete one orbit around the sun. 248 years. The last time Pluto was at its current position in its orbit, the American Revolution had just ended. Mozart was still alive. The French Revolution hadn't happened yet, and Pluto won't return to that position until the year 2178. Earth at Pluto's orbit would experience this same 248-year cycle. 1 year, spanning the entire history of the United States. Twice. Seasons. Meaningless. The difference between Pluto's closest and furthest point from the sun changes the temperature by only a few degrees, from minus 218 to minus 240. A range so narrow and so cold that summer and winter become philosophical concepts, not physical realities. Pluto has 5 moons, but one of them, Charon, is so large relative to Pluto that scientists don't call it a moon. They call it a binary system. Charon is half the size of Pluto. They orbit each other, like two dancers locked facing the same direction. Neither one orbiting the other, both orbiting a point in space between them. The only true binary dwarf planet system in the solar system, and both are tidally locked. The same face of Pluto always faces Charon. The same face of Charon always faces Pluto. From one side of Pluto, Charon hangs permanently in the sky, never rising, never setting, just there, a constant companion. From the other side of Pluto, Charon doesn't exist, never visible, never knowable. Earth replacing Pluto would inherit this relationship, and the psychological reality of a permanent companion in the sky, visible from half the planet and completely invisible from the other, would shape human culture in ways impossible to predict. 2 hemispheres, 2 entirely different skies, 2 entirely different mythologies, built around whether you can see the companion. In 2015, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto after a 9-year journey, and what it found astonished everyone. On Pluto's surface, a heart, a vast plain of nitrogen ice shaped unmistakably like a heart. 2,400 kilometers wide. Tombaugh Regio, named after Pluto's discoverer. A nitrogen glacier, actively flowing, convection cells churning slowly beneath the frozen surface. Pluto, at minus 230 degrees, at 5.9 billion kilometers from the Sun, is geologically active, not frozen solid and dead, but moving, slowly, quietly, persistently. And this tells us something extraordinary about Earth at Pluto's orbit. Earth, with a far larger and hotter core, would be significantly more geologically active than Pluto. Volcanoes would still erupt beneath the frozen atmosphere. Geothermal heat would create pockets of relative warmth deep underground, not warm enough for surface life, but warm enough, perhaps, for the deepest subsurface microorganisms. The same extremophiles that live in Antarctic permafrost today. The same bacteria found kilometers underground in South African gold mines. Life that needs no sunlight, no surface warmth, just chemistry, just heat from within. Earth at Pluto's orbit might be frozen on the surface. But deep below and in the dark, in the geological warmth, something might still be alive. Pluto isn't alone out there. It sits in the Kuiper Belt, a vast region of ice and rock stretching from Neptune's orbit to 50 times Earth's distance from the Sun. Thousands of objects, dwarf planets, frozen comets, ancient debris left over from the solar system's formation. Pluto is just the largest known resident of this frozen graveyard. Earth at Pluto's position would be surrounded by these objects. The night sky, already filled with stars, would also contain dozens of visible dwarf planets and Kuiper Belt objects. A sky more populated than anything visible from Earth today. And the gravitational interactions, Earth being far more massive than Pluto, would immediately begin reshaping the Kuiper Belt around it. Objects deflecting, orbits shifting, some pulled in, some thrown outward. Earth, even frozen solid, would be the most gravitationally dominant object in its new neighborhood, quietly reorganizing the edge of the solar system around itself. Pluto was discovered by a 24-year-old named Clyde Tombaugh, February 18, 1930. He searched photographic plates looking for something moving against the fixed stars and found it, a tiny point of light, barely visible, 5.9 billion kilometers away. He spent his life studying it, and when he died in 1997, before any spacecraft had ever visited Pluto, his ashes were placed aboard New Horizons, the spacecraft that flew past Pluto in 2015. Clyde Tombaugh, in the form of ashes, finally reached the world he discovered. After a journey of 9 years, after a wait of 85 years, the heart-shaped plane on Pluto's surface was discovered the same year his ashes arrived. Whether that's coincidence or poetry depends on what you believe, but this much is certain. Pluto was demoted in 2006, stripped of its planetary status, dismissed as a dwarf, and then 9 years later, it showed us a heart. Some things don't need a title to matter.